The Wii is home to a lot of shovelware, and even that would be an incredible understatement. There is so much bullshit infesting the Nintendo Wii's library that I could make like a million videos on it. Most of them are complete throwaway games with no substance marketed towards kids whose parents don't know any better. They see a game at the store and they're like, "Oh, Susie likes Dora, get her the Dora game." Little do they know that the game they just purchased is probably less entertaining than staring at a wall in silence. The game I'm gonna look at today was given to me by a woman who was trying to trade in her daughter's old shitty games and decided she would rather give it to me than take the $1.10 that GameStop had offered her for it. Now, I really don't know much about Hello Kitty. It was big back when I was a kid in the 90s and I never actually understood what it was. At first I thought maybe it was like a TV show, but to my knowledge, no such show existed. Well, here I am 20 years later and I still have no idea what it is, but there's a game on the Wii about it, so let's check it out. I'm feeling pretty adventurous, so let's see what's in store here. First, I've got to create a character. It strikes me as a bit odd that the only options for hair colors are brown, light brown, red, and for some reason blue. No love for black or blonde hair, I guess, but I'll have to settle for this blue color because it seems to be the closest looking to my own. I always try to make myself in these character creator things and it just never works out for me. The amount of times people have told me that my Nintendo Mii avatar doesn't look anything like me is staggering. There aren't many options for clothing either, so we can't make a little seeny-weeny out of them. I guess I'll have to go with this hoodie and cuffed jeans. Now, it asks you to give your character a name. I was gonna try and be cute and name it Hello Gilly, but there weren't enough characters. Unfortunately, though, I already fucked with the letters a bunch, and to fix it, I'd have to go through each extra character and scroll through all the letters until they're blank. I can't be fucked to waste my time doing any of that shit, so meet our courageous protagonist, Hedadak. Now, you know the first sign of a quality gaming experience is when the before-game preview video is pre-recorded footage that for whatever reason seems to be in an even lower resolution than the game itself. Welcome to Hello Kitty Seasons, or as I like to call it, literally running errands the game. The first thing you do is talk to Kitty, and she informs you that she was told to meet you, the new deputy mayor, at the bus stop. She also goes on to tell you that she'll be calling you on the phone to quote-unquote keep track of your goals. But what she really means is that you're about to be her little bitch boy running around doing all the shit that she tells you to do. Now, the first thing you're told to do is go speak with I'm gonna butcher a bunch of these names. Purin. At the end of the bus stop, there's a compass in the upper right-hand side of the screen that tells you which direction to go. I kind of wish I'd been paying attention because I started wandering around aimlessly for about the first 5 minutes before I realized what I was actually supposed to be doing. To move around, you have to point the Wii remote at the screen in the direction you want to go and hold down the A button to run. It's super cumbersome and I really don't understand why they didn't at least give you the option to use the D-pad to walk around. Anyway, you talk to Purin and he tells you to go back to Kitty. You talk to Kitty and she tells you to go see the mayor. You get to the mayor and he tells you to go back to Kitty. What is this shit? Is someone gonna give me some kind of actual task to complete? Or am I just gonna keep walking back and forth like a dumbass? I return to Kitty and now she's telling me to go see her mom in the garden. You get to her mom and she makes you plant some seeds, and in return she gives you some fruit. Kitty then tells you to bring the fruit to the bakery to make jam. You bring the fruit to the bakery, make jam, and then Kitty tells you to bring the jam to the cafe to sell it. This is basically the entire experience. Every so often, you're tasked with completing a minigame, and this is the first one. Kitty's dad asks you to clean up this classroom by throwing toys at small children holding boxes. Once they catch it, they leave the screen to put it away, and you have to aim for a different box. There isn't really, skill involved. It's just kind of monotonous. Ah, I see someone try to be cute by spelling out the word fun with these blocks over there. You're not funny. Now we've got to talk to probably just about the only character in this game that I actually liked. I can't really bring myself to dislike a raccoon. Although I am taking off points for the fact that his name is Landry and he, cleans and sells clothing. I hadn't realized this while playing, but the idea of sentient filth running around a rug is pretty fucking disgusting to think about. I really wish that I could zoom this camera out more. It's really disorienting to not be able to see very far in front of you, and it also doesn't aid the control scheme very well because you don't have much room for the cursor, which you literally need to navigate. You actually can move the camera out further, but only while standing in place. Why? Anyway, you go speak to the mayor, and then the season proceeds to change. And therein lies the seasons part of Hello Kitty Seasons. The days change as you complete tasks and minigames, and after a certain number of days pass, you speak to the mayor, a cutscene plays, and the season changes. And this is this game's form of progression. Although I don't actually feel as though I've accomplished anything. And we're back to square one. Mayor tells you to go find Kitty again. I don't understand this. If everyone's got a fucking cell phone, then why do I need to haul my ass all across town just to relay messages? You could literally text me. or each other, for fuck's sake. So now this dumpy-looking duck needs me to man his ice cream stand and serve these little bastards ice cream. Why is it my goddamn responsibility to do everybody else's work for them? This is just a matching game, but they only give you like 0.2 seconds to actually see which flavors you need to scoop. This is surprisingly difficult for me, so I don't really see how the little kids this game was made for would be able to do any better than I did. Next up is a fishing game that somehow, by some miracle, is actually less entertaining than Big the Cat's campaign in Sonic Adventure. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that whoever was in charge of programming this one cut some corners, because the animation of your boat moving runs at like 3 frames per second. Seriously, just look how janky this is. I mean, did you even try? I read the directions and the game seemed simple enough, but it just does not work right. It catches the fish seemingly at random, so eventually I realized my best bet was just to start waggling the controller rapidly and hope for the best. In between each of these mini games or tasks, you pretty much always need to talk to Kitty or the mayor, or go back and forth between the two. So for the sake of not repeating myself anymore, just know that's a thing that you constantly need to do. So you get a shovel and now you're asked to dig up rocks around town. I wish I was lying. This is what I've been reduced to. I'm digging up rocks. And they don't even look like rocks, they look like fucking potatoes. Now I need to process the stones into metal for some reason, and not even like raw metal, like straight up girders. Now the mayor sends me to go talk to Dumpy Duck again, and he tells me that they're about to have a water balloon fight. And guess who has to play? And what do you know, it's another minigame where all you have to do is select a target with the D-pad and throw. So many of these minigames are just reskinned and recycled. It's mind-boggling to me that developers do this kind of shit, and they're just like, fuck it, no one will notice, and then they get away with it. Like people spend actual money on this. Well, we finish the minigame and speak with the mayor to end the season. Sunrise, sunset. Also, what the fuck? It's finally autumn, my favorite season of the year. I know this is redundant, but I really would like to stress the fact that my phone is currently ringing, telling me to walk my ass across town to speak to Kitty. Like, why can you ring my phone but you can't speak to me on it? Fucking alright, let's talk to Kitty. So now we have to go picking fruit, an activity that, in real life, I actually enjoy quite heavily. Think this might ruin it for me. You just gotta toss fruit in the correlating baskets. Now, like, I get the apples, and maybe, to an extent, the pears, sort of. But who the fuck goes banana and orange picking? And in the fall? That's not even a thing that exists. After that minigame and after another quick runaround, we get to play shuffleboard, or do the shuffle, as this game likes to call it. Alright, I'm not even gonna front about this one. The controls are simple and wonky and sensitive, but I actually really fucking love shuffleboard, and this was kind of fun. I'm not gonna go into detail because even if you're unfamiliar with how shuffleboard works, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just get points. So remember those seeds we planted earlier? Well, they've grown into beautiful trees that we now have to fucking murder and harvest for fruit and wood. Now, I'm probably overthinking this, but every once in a while I start to actually think about what's going on in games like this, and in my head I'm like, someone decided that it was a good idea to make a game where an anthropomorphic hamster gives a small child a giant blade to go cut down a bunch of trees, alone, which, by the way, is incredibly dangerous. Well, now the mayor says winter's a-coming, better bundle up. Or not. I don't really have much room to critique anyone's winter gear though, because I'm known to do shit like wear Toms when it's snowing. You know the drill by now. Run around, play a minigame, only this time, Kitty follows you around all of a sudden, for some unexplained reason. In this game, we have to catch all of the presents that the kids throw at us, and then throw them back at the children who ask for them. You know, I'm not really sure why we can't just, like, hand them to each other. Call me crazy, but that seems much more efficient and less likely to cause a fucking concussion. But then again, what do I know? I'm not the one in charge here. I'm just a grunt, a cog in the machine. Oh great! A snowball fight! I hate this shit in real life too. Lucky me. Don't worry about precise aim here, kiddos. Point the Wii remote in the rough, general direction of your opponents and press the B button to fire away. You know, I didn't actually try this out, but I'm pretty sure there's like no way to fail these minigames. Like, I think if you just don't get any points, the game will still progress. I mean, there's never some kind of point threshold you need to break to win a game, so yeah, I'm not entirely convinced it's even necessary to try it all. Well, now Kitty is telling me that winter is almost over, and to go speak with the mayor again to go over the events that happened this year. That was actually a pretty quick season. Seemed a lot shorter than the rest, but I'm glad the game is almost over. Not sure how much more of this shit I can really take.
I mean, I wouldn't really call them friends, just a bunch of people I've never met demanding that I do things for them. Excuse me? What do you mean next season? Oh my god, it loops back around to spring. The game's not over, it keeps going. It just keeps going. Nope, no more of this. Nope, I'm done. No way. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, maybe give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch some of my other videos, there's a couple right there. And if you want to see more of my stuff in the future, click that subscribe button. I've also got a Patreon if you want to support future content I make, and I've got my music available for download on Bandcamp, because that's also a thing I do on this channel. I haven't forgotten, it's just a lot harder to get music out than regular videos, so yes, there will be more, but yeah. Thank you. Toodles.